I almost died last year. I don't think that I'll see my 40th birthday. And after I die, I want you to marry so-and-so. And he just looked at me the way you're looking at me. And I told him, it's because I know I will not recover. Little did I know, Gibson would leave home in the morning, and later I would get a call in the evening from a police officer from Gong to inform me that my husband had died. The days that followed were dark because in church there are no support systems for widows. Among the couples that I was working with, and we were a very friendly couple, I felt like a third leg, and that is how widows feel. My in-laws were very clear. They said they did not want to have anything to do with me. They did not even come back to even see us. When I was angry, because I was very angry with God, like how God at 35, who becomes a widow? See, widows wanakuanga wale wa 60. How do I become a widow at 35? If I was not born out of wedlock and mocked then, and not seen as if I am nothing, maybe it would not have propelled me to work hard. Maybe if my in-laws appreciated me and took me in the fold, and it is something that widows go through, it was meant to be so that we can be where we are today as a voice of hope to so many people.
Why UK?
Yeah.
Why not Africa? Why not stay home and develop your country, use your skills for your country? Why UK?
I wanted to be as far as I could from the graveside, but also looking at Favor, my daughter. There were no supportive systems in Kenya then, and I would look at this child and wonder what her future was. I didn't know what my in-laws then were planning for me, because it was very clear they didn't want me. They didn't want to do anything with me.
Very good morning to you and a warm welcome to LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi, and of course right now you know we are coming to you straight from London. Another year back here doing inspirational stories. But even before I go anywhere, guys, today I was going through our channel and the love that you are giving our rebuilding series, it's something else. For me, it's your comment saying, Lynn, these stories have been very inspirational. We want more. Na mimi ni nani? If you guys say you want more of this, I have to go out of my way to make sure that I get you inspirational content. And I'm just happy that the person I'm about to have a conversation with, I was listening to her in the morning, and the way she's rebuilt her life, coming all the way from Kenya with her kids here, settling here. And she was even talking to me about the benefits that her kids have even had to enjoy here. I will let her walk us through her story. Why is she here? What are the benefits? Why did she leave home? And of course, what can we take away from her conversation? But before I even let her introduce herself, I have to say thank you to our amazing partners at Kings Developers Limited. I love that now this is the official home of Kings Developers Limited. I've talked to you about the amazing buildings that they have, their apartments, and what I love about them is that these people are ISO certified. You've seen them. They are behind some of the most incredible buildings, Prism Towers, Sifa Towers. They even have Apollo apartments, and they do everything for everyone. Whether you want an affordable house, uko hapo katikati, or you want something high end, mwende uko juu kwa penthouse, msherehekee maisha, they have that for you. And you can always walk to their offices at Prism Towers at Upper Hill and talk to them about what you want. And if I'm vouching for them, it's because they are legit na hautakoniwa. And even mom can talk to us about what are some of the things we need to watch out when we are investing back home, because she's been here for a while now. And of course, to thank you guys, my editor Kelv said, if I don't ask you guys to subscribe, he will have war with me. So if you are watching this without having subscribed, you are doing a great disservice to our platform. Please subscribe. It goes a long way to helping us impact you guys with one story at a time. Cheni niache kuongea sana. Without further ado, please allow me to let my guest today introduce herself and also to thank our incredible person here with us. I wish this camera could pan so that you see how Lydia Tet Olet. This is what support looks like. She's just there. She brought us all the way to this beautiful space to be able to bring you inspirational stories. So Lydia Tet, salimia watu, say hi. Yeah, there it is. So Lydia Tet Olet, thank you so much for your dedication to our network and making sure that we continue bringing you guys impactful stories. And now without further ado, please allow me to let my guest with beautiful, beautiful hair introduce herself. Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to London.
Hey. I'm in London.
You are in London.
Yes, I'm in London.
Yeah.
I cannot believe.
Yes.
God, hapa ni wapi? You know, I'm so tempted.
I know.
Sitauliza mwalimu wa math, mi nitauliza mwalimu wa agriculture. Hapa ni wapi? Like, where is here?
Yes.
Tuko London.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And you know, Lynn, you've taken me back to many years ago.
Yeah.
When I was in primary school.
Yes.
And because I was born out of wedlock, and you know, in Kenya, kuna mtoto wa jikoni.
Yes.
So I was that child who was born out of wedlock, and my mom ran away from home because my grandfather was tough.
Yeah.
You know, these village elders who are tough. Nyaga was tough.
Yeah.
And when I went to school, of course, those days children who had no fathers were looked with another eye.
Yes.
And people thought that we would be nothing. They believed that these children will not be anything. And people would call me Nyabura wa Shosho, Nyabura wa Shosho.
Yes.
But you know what? I had a dream. I had a dream within me. And every time I would see a milipende, you know a milipende?
Yes.
I would pick it up and I would call whoever who dared listen, or even those who didn't want to listen, that I have a 10 shillings.
Ooh.
And it used to be a milipende.
Yes, because it
invite
coils, you know.
People. Yes,
yeah.
I would invite people, come and see. I have a 10 shillings with me. And you know, I was nicknamed Bia.
Yeah.
So those people who we grew up together knew that I used to be called Bia.
Bia
that was
is
my money.
Yes.
And you know, I had this dream within me that one day I will fly. You know the way we'd see an helicopter. And although I never saw anything or a life outside of our village, and I would talk about our village, outside our village. And although people did not believe that anything good would come out of Jerry's clan,
Yes.
and this girl who was born out of wedlock, as the firstborn child to be born out of wedlock,
Yes.
would become anything, I believed in myself.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, who is 93 years old, believed in me. I love my grandmother. I'm sure you've seen some of the photos on Facebook. I love my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's 93. She encouraged me to dream on. And you should tell me, Lydia, Nyabura, dream on, so that one day you'd buy me a blanket.
Oh.
So I am now in London.
Yes.
And I wish she had the strength. I would bring her over.
Yeah.
She's too old.
Yeah.
And in April, when I went to see her, Lynn, together with my grandfather, I called them when I was at the airport and I told them, I am coming over. They cried because they were expecting me.
Wow.
So mwalimu wa math,
Yes.
and those who did not believe in me.
Hapa ni wapi?
Hapa ni wapi.
Ooh. God, hapa ni wapi? And I know that statement here, hapa ni wapi, now it's a joke. Now we are saying it because we feel like saying it. The people who thought we would be nothing.
Yes. Yes. Today I am one of the children in our village, Kinagofu Muruaki, who lives abroad and who has had influence to hundreds, if not thousands, of children and families, not just in Kenya, but across the world.
Wow.
I have traveled the world. I work for a great organization called World Vision. Maybe let me start from my introduction there.
Again, we forgot the introduction. Yes,
because of Mwalimu
agriculture and math.
Yes. And I've been able to influence hundreds, if not millions, of families across the world. I started my career in World Vision 22 years ago. And here I am in London. My name is Lydia. That's my name, Nyabura.
Yes.
My
namesake.
Yes, I am your namesake.
Yes.
And Nyaburas are daring, you know.
Yeah.
And before I became Wamugai, I was Wanyaga because my grandfather, who loves me so much, gave me his name to use it as a surname. I come from a very little village in North Kinagop called Muruaki or Wero. And my school was not very far from where we used to live then. And growing up, as I said, from a single parent then was a big thing those days when we were growing up. And going to school and completing my A-levels was a miracle for me. And maybe that's the reason that I am here.
Yeah.
To inspire our audience and to inspire your audience to hope. I am a mother of 2 girls, Favor, who is 24 years old, and Deborah, who is 21 years old. I live with them here in the UK. I was married when I was 24 to the love of my life, the guy who loved me, who was my friend, who was my partner, who was my sweetheart, who was sold out to loving me unconditionally and loving his girls unconditionally. And because I grew up without a father figure, he affirmed the femininity in me and believed in me and was my greatest encourager.
Wow.
So after 12 years together, he died on a road accident that then promoted me from being a Mrs. to I don't know a what, I think a Miss, being a wife to the wife of the late, from being a wife of Mungai to being the wife of the late Mrs. Mungai, or the late Mr. Mungai, to being this confident woman that was then, to asking myself very many questions. I'm not just those titles because those are titles. The journey of my life, and we will talk about it a bit more, has opened my eyes to know that Lydia and Nyambura are names. My title as an international development specialist and as a manager where I work in World Vision UK now are titles. I am more than this body. I am not this hand, because if this hand was cut, it wouldn't be Lydia. Yes. If this leg was cut, or even the head, if they were cut, they wouldn't be Lydia. There is something inside of me that makes me who I am. Yeah. I am a child of God. Amen. When God placed that seed in my mother's womb, although it was an unwanted seed then, he had me in mind. And I believe that there are so many souls in heaven. That's what I believe. And when the time for every individual to be born comes, or when his mission or when his purpose becomes complete, he's sent down to the earth. Yes. As a seed in a mother's womb. So I am a child of God, and I know that. And that grounds me as Lydia, knowing that the titles, the Mrs. Mungai, can be stripped off. But the Mama Favor and Deborah can be stripped off. But I carry the seed of divine within me. That's who I am.
Yeah. You are not your name. You are not your job. You are not all those titles. You are a child of God.
I'm a child of God. I was born from the mind of God. And I'm here just the same way as you're here, Lynn, for a purpose. For a very divine purpose. And allow me to celebrate you, my Nyabura,
Oh.
because you're serving your purpose to make your light brighter and brighter and brighter. And I pray when you get to the other side of life that you have completed that which the Master, God, put you here on earth to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
That's who we are. You are not just Lynn. You're not just Nyambura.
Yeah. May we not die with this gift inside. Let's die empty.
That which the Master meant when he dropped me as Lydia to this earth to do. That is what I am doing. And I do it unapologetically. Even after I lost my husband, I knew that it is not, I did not die with him. The title died with him. But I am here for a purpose. And that makes me grounded and unshakable. I am here on earth as a voice of inspiration and a voice of hope to hundreds and hundreds of children that were born out of wedlock and hundreds of widows who were left by their husbands and who were rejected by their in-laws because I was rejected, although I did a kanisa wedding.
Really?
Yes. And I'm a voice of hope for them that desire to relocate to another country, but they don't know how. You know, when we were growing up, Lynn, tulikuwa tunasema ni wao tu wanaendaga.
Yes.
Ni wao tu wanaendaga ngambo. Wanaendaga aje. How do they go abroad? You see, these fingers are pointing at me. Yes. But those days we would be like, ni akina Lydia hao ndio wanaendaga ngambo. Ni akina hao. All fingers pointing other people because we thought we were nothing. But I'm that voice of hope to tell people, you know what, you can relocate. And not just relocate alone, but relocate with your children. And I have so much respect for every job. But you can also relocate and work for an organization like I work for.
Yes. Yes.
That's a brief introduction about me.
Oh, whoa. For me, it's you have defined who you are. And sometimes it's so hard for us to get out of the titles, get out of, like, what conversations do you have with God? How do you know you are even doing the right thing? How do you even know you are living your purpose right now? Do you feel God? Do you feel the energy? Do you feel Him around? What gives you this much strength?
Now, as I said, deep inside every person, as a Christian, because I'm a Christian, we believe that this body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And I have grown deeper in my spiritual journey. I am deeply spiritual. My friends say Lydia is deeply spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm deeply spiritual. I know that deep inside of us there is a seed of God. You see, you say, I am Lynn. If I ask you who you are, you say, I am Lynn. And I will say, I am Lydia. And that one will say, I am Joshua. That shows that we invoke the name of God that lives inside of us. And God has given us gifts other than the 5 senses that we have. There are other faculties, we call them faculties, that have been given to every single person. And that is why I do not judge people because of what they believe in, their religion, their creed, or where they come from. I know that every person has been given these faculties to define them and to let them know that they are connected to the great I am. God said, let us create man in our own image and in our own likeness. And the good book says he breathed life into a human being, into Adam then, and he became a being. In him we walk, breathe, and have our being. Have our being. There is something inside of you that God has placed inside of you. Mm-hmm. And one of the gifts that direct us to that is our intuition. You have that. There are people who call it a sixth sense.
Yes.
Others call it intuition. Others call it a voice. There is that deep knowing that is within you, that you know. And that is what guides me. I am very intuitive. And when I'm faced by circumstances, by situations that I doubt of, I go inside. I do lots of meditation. I do lots of prayer. Go inside to that place where this temple hides, where this temple covers inside of me. And I ask him. And I listen to him. Most of the time we are busy talking to him and not going inside of ourselves to ask him, but also listen to him.
Yeah.
There is that time when you felt your sixth sense telling you not to go to a place, and you went. And you missed.
Hey.
Or told you, don't sign this deal. It looks so green, but it is not green. There are others who have even dated people, and they knew inside of them that there was something that was shouting, don't. But they saw the flowers and did it. Every single human being. And that is what differentiates us from flowers, the fauna, and the animals has a sixth sense. That's what makes me grounded.
Yeah.
I am not religious. I am deeply
spiritual.
Deeply
spiritual.
My friends tell me when they go out to the forests and nice places, they tell me, Lydia, we got a place for you to go for your retreat and your meditations and listening, because you usually listen for us.
Yeah. It's good, it's powerful. But let's talk about you coming here.
Yeah.
You are in the UK right now.
Yes.
And if there's anything I'm establishing in this conversation, you are not just here. No. You are here living your life.
Yes.
To the fullest.
Yes.
In your job that you love so much.
Yes.
You relocated knowing you are coming to work at what you love best.
Yes.
Haukubahatisha. You knew it. The same way I said in the when we were talking, you've journaled a lot. You manifest a lot. And I was just like, how can everything come so true for her? Things she wrote so many years ago is just like now coming true, you know? You faced rejection. I didn't know you've been rejected by in-laws. That's like immediately after your husband passed on?
Maybe before then.
Before then?
But it was very pronounced after? Yes,
so,
after he passed away. It was very clear. They didn't want me. They've not have wanted me. They have never reached out to me.
Even now?
No.
Did they like take your things, or how? I'm asking because of the so many people who have been widowed, and that's a concern I always face. After your spouse passes, your whole life completely changes. Yeah. Is that what happened to yours?
Maybe let's step back. I can come to that later. Later, but they did not take my own things. Maybe just to make that clear. But we you know, in Kenya, my father-in-law had passed away before then, and so there's usually a list of to make sure that his wealth is distributed to the children. Our names were not there. Our names, and even the late name was not there, but it was because it was very clear from the beginning. My late, she is now late, my mother-in-law had said, you will not inherit anything here. Daring coming to the UK, allow me to step back to when before even my husband passed away. I got married at 24 to the love of my life, Gibson. We met in church. We had this beautiful wedding, you know, because I was in love and I was getting married to this man. Yeah. And I did not want to be a single mom like my mother. And we started our life really well. And dating him, I knew that maybe my life was meant to change. Of course, we met in church. I was a born again Christian. I gave my life to the Lord when I was in high school, and we just got together. My mom loved him as well, and we started off our life. We later were blessed with two children, Favor and Deborah. And I started my career then in World Vision. Before I even started my career in World Vision, have you been to Kawangware?
Yes.
Unajua hapo BP?
Yes.
I used to sell bananas there. Unajua mama hawa bananas, wanauzaka bananas there. I used to sell my bananas there. I was hopeless, although I was married, because I wanted to support him. After 12 years in our relationship, I got struck by meningitis. I was already working for World Vision then. I had meningitis. I was in Nairobi Hospital for close to over 3 weeks. I was on drip. And later when I was discharged, I was blind. You know, meningitis impacts the brain. I could not see. I could not hear. And my brain was slowly dying. And so after completing the medication, they sent me away, of course. You know, when the doctor says, we've done all that we can, we left for home. I wasn't well. And I remember as I was lying on the couch, there was this bright light like this light. It fell on my face and I got healed. Struck and healed. And for once I could see and I could talk a little bit. So I called my house help then and I told her, call my husband. And she was like, you can talk? So she called my husband and my husband came, took me back to the doctor, and the doctor looked at me and he said, I don't know much about you, but there must be a purpose that you're meant here to serve. Because not many people that recover from meningitis, you know. A year down the line, I was down again. Of course, recovering is a long, long journey. And on the 12th of November-ish, towards the end of November in 2009, I had this headache, migraine headache, and I was taken back to the hospital. Went back to the hospital, to Nairobi Hospital, for 1 more week. And then I was discharged. The week of the 12th of November, we were with my husband at home on a Wednesday. And we started discussing death. And I told him, Gibson, you know, I almost died last year. I'm just from the hospital. I don't think that I will live long. I don't think that I'll see my 40th birthday. And after I die, I want you to marry so-and-so, a friend of mine. She's also a friend of his. She knows herself. I want you to marry so-and-so. And he just looked at me the way you're looking at me. And I told him, it's because I know I will not recover. And we were with a neighbor there who had lost his wife as well. And he asked me, so who would you like you to marry if your husband died? I told him, men, even if they are dead, they still want their women to be their women.
Yes.
Little did I know, Lynn, that week on the 12th of December 2009, Gibson would leave home in the morning at 5 in the morning. And later, I would get a call in the evening. I don't want to go into details. In the evening, from a police officer from Gong to inform me that my husband had died. He called me and he asked me, those are the days when people are asking for the head. You remember?
Yes.
And he called me, so who am I talking to? I asked him, so who do you want to talk to? He said, and who are you? He said, I'm a police officer. I was at my best man's house at that time. I had been taken there by Jackie Matubia's parents.
Yes.
Because they already knew what had happened in the morning. So I asked him, so who are you? He said, I'm a police officer. I'm a police officer. My best man came and he was holding me here and he was speaking in other tongues. He's a pastor. He was speaking in other tongues and praying. And I was wondering, why is he speaking in tongues? And the police officer told me, now, who are you? I said, I am Lydia. Do you know Gibson? Yes, I know him. He's my husband. Now, Gibson was involved in a road accident in the morning. And I say, and so I told him quickly, check his wallet. There is a card. There's a medical card. Call the ambulance so that we can either meet at Nairobi Hospital or we can meet at Karen Hospital.
Yeah.
He said, unfortunately, when I was talking to him, he died. Aliaga. Nikasema, kuaga ni nini? That vocabulary did not even ring in my mind.
Yeah.
And I looked at my best man. He was still speaking in tongues, and the phone disconnected. So I asked my best man, there's someone who has called me here and I said, Gibson ameaga, kuaga ni kufanya. He did not talk to me. I went to the house. There were a few people crying there. I was like, why are you crying? Why are you people crying? There's a person who has called me and he said, Gibson ameaga. Ameaga ni kusema nini? They were not talking to me. I called my best friend, Shiro, Shifa. I said, Shifa, the people were telling me here that Gibson ameaga, kuaga ni kufanya nini? And she screamed. I can't know any. I called my pastor, Pastor Malili and Anne Malili. Pastor Anne, what these people are telling me Gibson ameaga, kuaga ni kufanya nini? She told me, Lydia, what are you talking about? That was the starting point of a long journey for me as a widow. And the days that followed mourning, I was numb and I didn't know whether this was just a bad dream and that I would wake up from it. Remember, I was recovering and I had just recovered from meningitis, which was fatal, which the doctor thought and everyone thought that I would anyway die. And I held my hand and I said, God, I usually see Nyabrawa farafara, because there is in every village there is a Nyabrawa farafara. I pray because of favor, especially because she has special needs, that I will not go mad and that you will hold me together. And that was my prayer, and maybe the only prayer that I prayed for the next following 2 years. And of course, we know in Kenya, there's Mashakaya. We did our Mashakaya. My in-laws wanted my husband to be buried in Moro. And I said, before then we had quarrels. You said you didn't like me. So I have the choice of where my husband should be buried. And I want him, because his children were still young. Deborah was 7, Favor was 10 then. I want my children to be visiting his graveside when they want. So we buried him at Rangata. Lynn, I remember standing at Rangata at the graveside and watching the casket of this man who I called my husband for 12 years going down. And I cannot explain the darkness that engulfed my life, the hopelessness, the fear of unknown, the questioning, the loneliness, the feeling like a part of me had been, you know, the way you get something by force from my heart. And I stood there watching him crying, holding my 2 little children and wondering what life would be without this man who believed in me and who loved me and who was always there for me. And what meant for these 2 little children that would then grow without a father figure. And I saw myself dead. But I remember then 2 people were sent to me with the same scripture. It is in Genesis, the last chapter of Genesis. And it is said, your husband is dead. Joseph told the children of Israel, I am going to die. Joseph is dead. But I, the God of Israel, will look after you. In Kikuyu, it says, Niegai wa Israeli, I, the God of Israel, will take care of you. And that is the word that has kept me going. The days that followed were dark, because in church there are no support systems for widows. among the couples that I was working with, and we were a very friendly couple, I felt like a third leg, and that is how widows feel. Felt like a third leg, like a sixth leg, like a fifth leg, like a seventh leg. And I felt that I did not belong. My in-laws were very clear. They said they would not, they did not want to have anything to do with me. They did not even come back to even see us. And the painful, lonely journey started then. And although I was journaling before then, I opened a new chapter in my journaling. I would journal my feelings. I still have that journal. It is somehow in papers now. I would journal what I felt every day. When I was angry, because I was very angry with God, like how God at 35, who becomes a widow? See, widows wanakuanga wala wa 60. How do I become a widow at 35? I would journal those feelings. I would journal my dreams. And I told myself, it is not you who is dead, it is Gibson who died. So your dreams will have to become a reality. And my lifestyle changed. We had a big loan then, and so my salary was very little then. I changed my school, the schools of my children, where my children were going to school. But this word that I, the God of Israel, will look after you, kept me and opened doors for me. Before I knew, I was promoted at work. I was working for World Vision Kenya then. I was promoted at work. I started managing a program within Kariobangi. Nana Korogocho. Korogocho mi nikienda nisimame huko. I'll be elected just like that. I had a huge youth program there. And when that program was almost coming to an end, God opened another door for me to go to the headquarters. And I remember during my trips and my travels, I said, God, I wrote on a journal. And I do vision boarding. I came up with a vision board. I said, God, I've been to so many countries. I would love to relocate to an English-speaking country. And I put it out there for the universe to make it happen, however he would make it happen. To God to make it happen the way he would make it happen. I told my children, one day, we will relocate from this country. Yes, there is nobody from our family who lives abroad, but we will relocate from this family. Why did I want to relocate? One is because I wanted to be as far as I could from the graveside, because I was at my husband's graveside, Lynn, for a very long time. I would talk about him. I would cry. There are a few times a man tried to date me, and we would go for a date, and everything that I would tell him was about this man, so they would leave me there wondering. So you will be comparing me with the dead.
Yes.
I wanted to be as far as I could from the graveside. Number two, I didn't know what my in-laws then were planning for me, because it was very clear they didn't want me. They didn't want to do anything with me. I wanted to be as far as I could from them. Number three was my children. And I looked at Favor, as we were talking earlier, and I knew that this girl has something that is planted within her, and it cannot blossom in Kenya. Why? Because there are no support systems for people who are differently abled. Favor was not diagnosed then with autism, but we knew she had a learning disability. We thought it was dyslexia. It wasn't. And I knew there was no support system for her. And number five, I knew that there was greatness within me, and it was beyond the boundaries of Kenya. And I knew that this voice needed to be heard broader than the boundaries of Kenya. And I knew that my influence in the work that I do needed to be felt more than the confines of our country, Kenya. And I started praying about it. Every day, I would look at my vision board. My bedroom was my sanctuary, my hiding place, and the place of prayer and the place of meditation. And I would look at it and remind God. Habakkuk 2 verse 2 says,
Write down your vision.
It says
Make
what?
it clear.
It says what again?
Go
Lynn?
on, Mom. Tell them. I know it's my favorite.
Write down
your vision.
And not just write it down, but make it clear that whoever sees it, you run with it.
Yes.
Make it clear.
Make it
And
clear.
people say that this is a yo-yo thing, that the new angel, it is in the Bible. Read your Bible.
Yes.
And that is what I did. And I would speak to that vision every day and call it into existence. Call things that are not as if they are. And in my mind, I started living abroad. I came to the UK, funny enough, for a conference, a workshop in 2015. Yes, 2015. And of course I came and I saw how the systems work. And I was hosted by one of a distant relative who lives here. And I asked her, how can I relocate to this country?
Yes.
So you get me those old men
For spousal visa.
for spousal visa. Even if he doesn't see, I will see for him. And even if he has nothing, I will be chewing for him and giving him. I just want to get out of Kenya. And Susan is my distant relative. She told me, but Lydia, there's an office where we were yesterday in Milton Keynes. You can get a job there. I looked at myself and I doubted myself. I said, no, in our office, if they were told to choose someone to come to a support office, they wouldn't choose me.
Yeah.
They would choose another person, not me. I don't qualify. I am too small. I told her, no, I don't think I can get a job in that office. But I went home again. I looked at my vision again. The following year, in 2016, my contract was coming to an end in the organization. We were restructuring, and restructuring comes with job losses. So my position was almost scrapped. But I was given, for the first time, I was given a 6-month contract. But I remember walking to our operations director's office, and I told him, you will not sack me from World Vision. You will not sack me from this organization. I will walk out. I'm the one who will resign. And he looked at me, said yes, because I know who I am. I know who I am. You know, sometimes, Lynn, we doubt ourselves, but we forget who we are.
Yes.
That I am. I am.
Child of
I am a child of God. Do you know who I am?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you?
Do you know that He has good plans
For me?
For me? Plans for good and not for evil?
Yes.
Do you know that I'm connected to Him who owns the whole world, including this organization?
And do you know, even before He formed me in my mother's stomach, He already knew the plans He had for me. Do you?
Yeah. I'm not a vagabond.
Nope.
Before I was conceived, like you said, in Jerry's womb, although it was out of wedlock by a teenage mom.
Yes.
And maybe she was just having fun.
Yes.
He knew me. And now you're saying that you will sack me? And although I cried then, looking at my contract and wondering what is going to happen to the lives of these children, because this is my livelihood. Cutting story short, I got a visa for my children. I got a passport for my children. I walked to Nyayo House and got a passport for my children. And I remember one of my friends, she's also a widow like me, we were working together.
Yeah.
She found me in the office filling in those forms. You remember those days we used to fill in forms manually and we would take them.
Yeah.
And I told her, I have traveled to many countries. I want to make sure that my children have a passport. Immediately after I applied their passport, I was invited to Finland together with my children. That was the second time. And their trip was paid for, and mine was fully paid for. And I said, how can this even happen? By March, in March, because we are supposed to go in April, my contract will have ended in World Vision. I went back to the same operations director. I told him I have an invitation to go to Finland for fundraising for this organization, for the work that we do. This is something that I'm passionate about. I will still go. Even if you don't pay for anything,
Yes.
I will still go
Yeah.
and raise money for this organization.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he did not say anything. When he came back to me, he said, your contract has been extended, but also your trip has been approved. So the organization will cover everything.
Yes.
Have fun with your children. And we flew to Finland. When we were coming back, I still had my vision in my diary. We went through a long route, and I showed Deborah, because she's the one who is able. Imagine even Favor, and she cannot even got a visa. They got a visa to go to Finland. We went. So I would show her, Deborah, I feel within me our vision is coming closer and closer. And maybe I'll relocate to another country and you will follow me. So see how people crisscross the airports. This is how you find your way through the airports. And we went and came back. And people were like, Lydia, you went abroad with your children and you came back. If it was us, we would have gone under. I told them, no. Finland is not an English-speaking country. And I have a job here. And I was, the Finland office trusted me that I would go and return back. There's no way I'm going to betray their trust. That's why I have come back. God will open a way for me. That same month, a staff from World Vision UK came to the UK, and she was like, the same March, just before I traveled to Finland, Lydia, her trip was approved in a ways that I don't know. In fact, I made noise to the operations director, wondering why he had approved a trip and not made me aware. Yes. And when she was going back, I told her my contract, by the way, might be coming to an end soon. Yeah. And she told me, by the way, there are opportunities in the UK. I don't know, no, I don't think I qualify for them. Maybe double check ourselves. Oh, but when I returned from Finland, yeah, the first email was her email. And she said, please send me your CV and a cover letter. I did that. And a week after, I was invited for interviews. I did the interviews, crushed it. I did the second level interview, crushed it. I did the last interview, passed. But here I was, again looking at my children. I talked to a few people that were living in the UK. UK is quite expensive. I said no. At that time I was also had a kabiashara on the side. I said no, I don't want to go to the UK. 3 people who had no idea that I had applied for this position were sent to me. They were angels. They were sent to me, and they told me, Lydia, there's somewhere that you're supposed to be, and you're saying no to it. God wants you there. One is a pastor, a village pastor somewhere. His name is Joseph. He called me at 3 a.m. in the morning. So there's somewhere that you're supposed to be, and I don't know where you are, and I don't know you. And we applied for our visa together with the children. And in the month of August, this month, 7 years after, 7 years ago, I flew to the UK and started my life in the UK. I left my children because we were still in school, yeah, with a lovely couple. I was their best couple. They are like family to me. Jane and Duncan, wow, they are so dear to me. Wow. They are friends who are family. Yes. I left them with my children, and they were kind enough to take care of them. And in the month of September, I got them, and here we came. Wow. Started our life. Life was difficult then. People there abroad, but I had a fully furnished house. I had everything. I had a nice car. I had to leave everything and start from buying a spoon. Here, buying a spoon. The first few months I asked myself, why did I even come to this country? Why? But I had very supportive people around me. And here we are, we are British citizens from a little village in Kenagofu. My mom, who never dreamed of going near an airport. Maybe she saw the airport because she used to live in Kibera. Unajua Kibera in Saba?
Yes.
That's why she used to sell charm.
Yeah.
So she used to see the airport from a distance. Has been in the UK 2 times.
Wow.
2 times.
Yeah.
It was never a dream for her, but she's been able to enjoy living here in the UK with his grandchildren, with her grandchildren.
Wow.
That is how we came to the UK.
Yeah.
I'm a senior manager. I'm in charge of a unit that supports acquisition. So we are charged with driving acquisition, acquiring donations and funds from the government here, European Union, Global Partnership for Education, World Bank, working with the UN bodies to mobilize funds for the most vulnerable, the most vulnerable. That's who we focus on.
Yeah.
We do international development. World Vision is in over 100 countries. But rather than supporting a team who I believe in and who I love so much, they know, my staff know, and who I encourage every day to unleash that power that is within them. I also do storytelling for our organization. Showing them that little Nyabura Bia in the village who had no hope of going to school, in fact, who almost dropped out of class 8, although I was the top performer in primary school, to almost not going to high school because we did not have fees. And being sustained by people that I'll have no time to even thank, because I don't even know them, who paid my fees for me to complete education.
Write your vision.
Write your vision.
Down. Make it clear.
Make it clear. Even after I came here, I still wrote my vision very clearly. I want to be a citizen in this country.
And you are now.
I am a citizen in this country.
Yes.
Not just me, but my children as well are British citizens in this country.
Congratulations, ma'am. Allow me to ask, how do you deal with forgiveness? How do you deal with, because I feel like sometimes in life we are too focused on what people said, what people did, who hurt me here, who said I was born out of wedlock, the in-laws, all these things, people who thought I would not make it. How do you forgive that? And why is it important to forgive?
If you drink poison, I take unforgiveness like drinking poison, thinking that Lynn will die. I am the one who will die. And I believe there is no place of unforgiveness in my heart. Why? Because this body is a temple. I told you that I'm deeply spiritual. That this body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And there is no place for unforgiveness where God dwells.
Amen.
Number 2, I believe that you are where you are supposed to be. Whatever you have gone through was meant to be for you as Lynn to be a voice of inspiration, because you're not just phenomenal, but you're a voice of inspiration. You are light that is on a hill that cannot be shut. You had to go through it, and everything that you went through was to prepare you for greatness and for the person that you are. Life for me does not happen to me.
It
happens for me and through me. It happens for me
and through you.
and through me. My life is meant to have taken this path for me to experience the grace that I'm experiencing today. If I was not born out of wedlock and mocked then, and not seen as if I am nothing, maybe it would not have propelled me to work hard, to believe in the voice of my grandmother. Maybe if my in-laws appreciated me and took me in the fold, and it is something that widows go through a lot, because I'm in support groups, and the things that we got through, that would be another episode to take you through what we got through as widows. That was meant for me to be where I am today.
Yes.
I like something that my 21-year-old Deborah, I told you she is so grounded.
Yes.
Deborah is so grounded. And we talk about her dad all the time. She's a photocopy. She's a copycat of her dad. And she keeps reminding me, Mommy, it was meant to be so that we can be where we are today as a voice of hope to so many people. Everything that you have been through was meant to be for you.
Yes.
The good and the bad.
And the ugly.
The ugly. The difficult and the beautiful was meant to prepare you for the next place.
Powerful. You mentioned widows. How do you get past that stage of, I've lost a loved one, they'll forever be in my heart, how can I rebuild myself? Especially when you don't know what to do, you don't know how to move on, the grieving process is still there. How do you navigate? And what advice would you tell someone who is in that particular? Because you are very intentional about leaving the graveside. You are very intentional about not wanting to keep having your life revolve around that. What would you tell someone who is stuck in that phase?
I'll still go back to my foundation of knowing that we are from a source. That which is within us is from God, and every breath you make, you're nearing your graveside, whether you like it or not. We are all in that journey, and me knowing that Gibson was a gift to me for that phase of my life. Although he died a sudden death in a road accident, I think I said earlier.
Yes.
Although he died in a road accident, it was sudden, but the same book that I read says that there is a wall that God has put. Our days are numbered. It's a wall that God has put. That is what Job said in this Job 14. And you cannot pass it, whether you like it or not. Knowing that my husband served his purpose and the reason of his existence to the very end.
Yes.
And that he was given to us as a gift. And you cannot tell God, because God asked me in my heart. I know how he asked me. If now you wanted me to take one person from your house, who do you have wanted me to take? And I was like, okay, no one, including myself. I refused to die a year ago. So he said, I take whoever I want, and whoever pleases me. So knowing that your husband or your wife came to this world as a gift and that was given to you is one thing. Knowing that you did not die, it is your husband who died.
It's another thing.
It's another thing. And so you still have your vision and your purpose for your existence to fulfill in this life. And it is up to you, like I told you earlier. You might get to the other side of life and find you only did a quarter because you were busy mourning someone who died, who you did not give life to. Rising up from the dust and from the black clothes that we wear of widowed and and knowing that we are here for a purpose as well, and pursuing that purpose with lesser focus, knowing that one day we will also exit from this world.
Good.
But also support, but also you become who you surround yourself with. Surrounding yourself with positive people. Where you draw positive energy,
Yes.
encouragement, people who show you the way, who support you, who believe in you, who speak life to you. Because we don't clearly, you know, the mtu anambiaga, move on, Lydia, move on to where? This man was a part of me. For God's sake, we gave birth to, we gave birth to 2 children. We lived for 14 years. I cannot move on. I can only know that it happened. That was the end of his life.
Yes.
So what can I learn from this? And move on.
Yes.
With my life to fulfill my purpose, but also be an encouragement to other widows.
Why UK?
Yeah.
Why? Because I think sometimes the question people ask is, why not Africa? Why not stay home and develop your country, use your skills for your country? Why UK, or why a different country from home? When people ask you that question, how do you answer it?
I responded in the, like I have said earlier, you follow your purpose.
Yes.
Following your purpose and knowing what you want. For me, I wanted to relocate and go to another country.
Yeah.
But also looking at Favor, my daughter, there were no supportive systems in Kenya then. And I would look at this child and wonder what her future was. Lynn, I am so grateful for this country and the opportunities that it has given me as a professional to grow, become, rise from where I started to being a manager and managing a team, and just the exposure that it has given me. But also this country has systems that work. We pay taxes, and yes, we pay a lot of taxes, but we see where those taxes go. My daughter right now is living in a supported living accommodation. Favor, who if she was in Kenya, I don't know where she would be. She's living in her house with another girl. She is fully supported. She goes to daycare. I don't pay for her expenses. Her expenses are paid for by the government. You know, what else can I ask for? What else can I ask for? Deborah has all the opportunities to develop as a young professional girl. She has, the world is her field. She says, the sky is not the limit for me, mommy. She has the opportunities to become that solid woman who is an influence and who will be the influence of the generations to come. What else can I ask for? The NHS, our NHS works. I mean, it is free. We have free
NHS?
Medical. You know in Kenya. No, it's not the NHIF. In Kenya, there is the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
It houses the Kenyatta National Hospital and all that. So it's the health core, the national health core of our health system.
Okay.
It works. I can, if I fall sick, I'll just walk to hospital and I would be treated for free in this country, and much more. Our mortgage rates are very little here as well. Did I say that I am a homeowner?
What?
Oh yeah. Your girl is a homeowner. Is a homeowner. And maybe this is just to encourage another widow or another girl from Geshagigia Kenago.
Yes.
That you can become a homeowner in another country. Lydia is a homeowner. I live in my own house. Next time you come to Northampton, you come for a cup of tea.
Yes.
So those are some of the reasons why I love England. I love the UK. I love the UK. Of course, we have dual citizenship. That's an option. I'll never abandon my country, Kenya. I hear people saying that they want to go back again. For me, this is my country.
Yeah.
It's because I know Favor will never leave the UK. She's a British citizen. Her system, her support system is here.
Yeah.
And Deborah as well. And when
Yes.
they get married, and I'm hoping Favor will find a lover
Yes.
and get married
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yes, she will.
Good, good.
And Deborah as well.
Yes.
You know, I want to see my grandchildren. I want to be a
Beautiful.
present grandmother
Beautiful.
to them.
To them, huh?
And maybe, who knows?
Yes.
I might find a Mr. Right here.
Ah!
13 years after living alone as a widow. I know it is a journey.
Yeah.
But who knows?
We are open to love
We
again.
are open to love.
Again.
Maybe in a different design.
Yes.
But we are open to love.
Wow.
I am just so grateful to God. I am so grateful to my friends. I'm so grateful to my organization.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to my boss. I'm so grateful to my team. I'm so grateful to all my friends. I have a circle of friends
Yes.
who have been friends for 30 years, 20 years. And I'm just so grateful for this gift that
Of
we call life.
Beautiful. What can we change back home? Now that you are looking at Kenya from the outside, what do you think we need to do better in our own home country?
The systems need to be overhauled.
That's it.
We need an overhaul of the systems and make them work. We are in the 21st century, for God's sake. We cannot have systems that are not working. The space for people that are differently abled needs to be created. We are in the 21st century.
Yeah.
There's a lot to catch up when you come to the West.
Yes.
And you know, I don't have to use my car all the time because
The trains work.
The trains
the
work.
buses work. Everything works
Everything
here.
works. Everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything works.
Yeah.
That's-
And for you and our viewers,
yeah.
like our girl said, our dreams are varied.
Yes, our dreams are valid. I want to wind up, Mom, but before I do, is there anything that you think we should have touched on that you can briefly touch on? And also, where can people find your amazing work?
Oh, thank you. thank you, Lynn. And,
Yes.
and so grateful that you invited me to have a conversation with you.
Yes.
With you, and I
Yeah.
hope that we'll continue on with this conversation.
Yeah.
And maybe that my parting shot, write your vision down. Make it clear.
Make it clear, my people.
Make it clear. So clear that whoever sees it can run with it.
Yes.
Vision boarding is not a yo-yo. It's biblical. It is in the Bible.
Yes.
It is in the holy books that we read.
Yes.
Write it. Number two, what is it that what do you want? Not what other people want.
What do you want?
What do you as Lynn want?
Yes.
Not what Lydia want for you, not
Yeah.
what your society or your community want for you.
Yeah.
What is it that you want? Put it down. Write it so clearly.
Yeah.
And follow it. Laser focus. Follow it. And after you've written it, release it to divine. Release it to God. And allow him to work, to make things conspire.
Yeah.
And make it work
Yes.
for you. Because when you least expect that door for you to relocate, if your desire is to relocate like
Yeah.
Lydia, will come knocking.
Yes.
If it's for you to get a husband, it will come knocking. Release it to God.
Yes.
I have a channel
Yes.
with my daughter,
Yes.
Deborah,
Yes.
and Favor is the admin. You'll find us on YouTube. I have a channel. It's not very active, but
Yes.
it is there.
Yeah.
I've talked a lot about how we relocated
Yeah.
and about my journey
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And we've had conversations with Deborah,
Yes.
you know, the duo.
Yeah.
And we call it storytelling for a change.
Yes.
Storytelling
Telling
for
for
a
a
change.
change.
So you
Yeah.
find us on YouTube. Please
Yeah.
follow us so that you can encourage us
Yes.
to inspire
Yeah.
more people. But you can also find us on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook.
Yes.
As well.
As well.
Lydia Nyabura.
Yes.
And of course, my tagline is
Yeah.
Lydia, she inspires all.
And you've greatly inspired us.
Thank you.
You've greatly inspired us, and I think we've learned. We are rebuilding one step at a time. We are restoring broken things. We are bringing back the pieces together. And I keep saying, as long as we are alive, as long as we are breathing, there's so much we can do. As long as we woke up, we saw this day, then there's so much that we can do. So thank you.
Indeed.
I know it wasn't an easy way here from Northampton.
No.
Guys, I'm shooting at Canary Wharf.
Yes,
I'm filming at Canary Wharf, so I'm trying to understand the different cities and places. So I know it wasn't easy for you to get here, but thank you for making time.
Thank you.
And hopefully when we come to Northampton, we can be able to
have
come
a
in and for some, mimi nikunywe chai hapa, nimetoka Kenya, nikule ugali hapa.
Okay.
Nimetoka Kenya, chai.
I'll get you sandwiches.
Like what?
You know.
Like now you are talking my language. Like what? Like what? Some sandwiches.
And a glass of wine.
Yes, and a glass. And a glass of wine. And a glass of wine. And some tortillas.
And tortillas.
Chipotle there.
Yeah, we'll spoil you.
Yes.
We'll spoil
you. No, I refuse.
In Jesus'
I've
name.
written it down.
Yes, I don't know what your vision is, Lynn. And I know people have spoken to you, but you are yet to get to the peak of what you are here to do. Nations are waiting for you.
Oh, thank you.
Millions and millions of people are waiting to hear stories from your channel. And what a gift that we have in you. And we can only encourage you and support you. I am your fan. The sky is not the limit for you.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate it. And may God bless you. Whatever, here on the channel, we give people flowers. I can't see my flowers, but take your flowers, Mom.
Thank you.
May God continue opening those doors for you.
Thank you.
You know, may He continue opening doors for you.
Pass
our hello to Deborah and Favor, and tell them that we really appreciate them also. And for you just being so grounded in faith and speaking your truth, for me that's something that will inspire a lot of people on this channel.
Thank you.
Shall we wind up?
Yes, please.
You're good?
Yes, I am good. Thank you.
Yes, I love when I hear my guests say, oh, they are good. That makes me feel like my job has been done. But guys, oh God, what's your take home from today's conversation? You know, they say that thing about writing down the vision. Me, the first time I bumped into that verse so many years ago, I took it home and I said, this will be my verse. And don't let anyone tell you that there are dreams for specific people. We stop saying ni wale wanaendanga. Sasa pia wewe you can be able to come and live your purpose, and your purpose has no borders. Don't be restricted by people who think that you can only achieve something based on where you are right now. Your vision should have no borders at all. Go out and conquer. For me, that's my take home from her. And you can as well relocate from Kenya and come work at your dream job. You know what I'm saying? So don't be scared, and don't be scared of even like writing down your vision. And also when opportunities meet preparation, she said something and I was like, oh wow, she got passports for her daughters, and then few weeks later they traveled. Can you imagine what would have happened if the daughters had no passports? So opportunities must be able to meet preparation. What are you doing? Are you preparing yourself? Are you even challenging yourself? Or are you like me, God atani blessed you? Ataku bless wapi? And there are people who are working hard 24/7 preparing for that opportunity, so that when it knocks, they have all their documents ready, they have everything ready. So guys, when opportunity meets preparation, and don't be scared of dreaming. Allow me to wind up. Thank you so much for tuning in. On the comment section, what's your take home? And also to thank our incredible partners at King's Developers. You don't get to do this job alone, guys. You don't come to UK just like that. You have to be able to have people who are holding your hand, supporting you. So for me, King's Developers Limited, thank you so much for coming through. And I always said, because I know this is a digital platform where my words will be quoted for years and years, I'm very intentional with the people I honestly advertise or partner with. And that's why for me, I'm vouching for King's Developers Limited, because for a company to be ISO certified, those are high standards. For a company to work closely even with the government and make sure all their documents are in order, that's not something I take for granted. So if you are looking for an apartment, regardless of how much you have, from affordable to high end, you might want to visit them, or their contact details are right here on the screen. Tell them Lynn sent you, and if you have any questions, info@lnn.digital. That's where you are able to find me. Thank you so much to my incredible team who traveled with me all the way to the UK to make sure we continue bringing you impactful conversations. Muga, Rada, Ukofiti. Yes, that's Muga, and of course Joshua, and of course our people from Strategy and Innovation, Liz, for just coming and making sure that we continue impacting our society. Not forgetting the one and only Lydia later. It can only be God. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, my people, at 10 a.m. God bless.
Bless you.